Welcome to Online Gallery Walk.
So Impressionism describes a style of painting developed in France during the mid to late 19th century. Characterization of the style include small, visible brushstrokes that offer the bare impression of form and blended color and emphasis on the accurate depiction of natural light. So an example of Impressionism painting is the Impression Sunrise. So this painting in French called Impression sur la Levante. This is a painting by Claude Monet. It is first shown at what we became known as the exhibition of the Impressionists in Paris. The painting is credited with the inspiring name of the Impressionist movement. Its medium is an oil on canvas. So the hazy scene of this painting strayed from traditional landscape painting and classic idealized beauty. So the loose brush strokes of this painting mean to suggest the scene rather than the mimetically represent and demonstrate the emergent impressionist movements. Of an emergent industrialization in France, this style expressed innovative individually. So the group of studies made from Monet's hotel room were made from canvas with a base layer of gray in different tones. Although it may seem the sun is the brightest spot in the canvas, it is in fact, when measured with a photometer, the same brightness or luminance as the sky. Other researchers have found that some luminance properties can cause the sun to fade from view and the changes in microscapes underlie the effect.
We also have the Garden of St. Andreas in 1867. Monet spent the summer of 1867 with his family at St. Andreas, a seaside resort near Le Havre. It was there that he painted his buoyant, sunlit scenes of contemporary leisure, enlisting his father, shown sitting in a Panama hat, and the other relatives as models, by adopting an elevated viewpoint of painting into terrace, sea, and the sky of the three distinct men of his gay-colored. Monet emphasized the flag surface of the canvas. His approach, darling for the time reflects his administration of Japanese Prince 12 years. After he was made, Monet exhibited the picture of the Fourth Impressionist exhibition of 1879 as Garden of St. Andreas.
So, let's move on for the next picture. This is what we call the Art Nouveau. So, Art Nouveau, it is an ornamental style of art that is flourished between about 1890 and 1910 throughout Europe and the United States. Art Nouveau is characterized by its use of a long, sinuous organic line and was employed most often in architecture, interior design, jewelry glass design, posters, and illustration. It was a deliberate attempt to create a new style free from the imitative historism that dominated much of 19th century art and design. So the distinguishing ornamental characteristic of Art Nouveau is the undulating asymmetrical line, often taking the form of flower stalks and buds, vine tendrils, insect wings, and other delicate and sinuous natural objects. So the line may be elegant and graceful or infused with a powerfully rhythmic and whip-like force. So Art Nouveau style is inspired by the natural world, characterized by sinuous sculpture, organic shapes, arts curving lines, and sensual ornamentation. So common motifs include stylish version of the leaves, flowers, vines, insects, animals, and other natural elements.
So now we move forward to Expressionism. So before we start, let me explain first what is Expressionism. So expressional art may be extremely wide and challenging to define. it encompasses several nations, techniques, ideologies, and time periods. So Expressionism artworks were therefore characterized as a means of communication and sociological reflection rather than by a system of stylistic ideas. So as we look here, we can see a painting that exemplify the expressive and lively character of the period. So we have here the famous paintings of Edvard Munch. So it is the famous The Scream and was completed way back in 1893. So the medium that he used in this painting is the tempera and the crayon on cardboard. So it has a dimensions of 91 centimeters by 73 centimeters. So the Scream is essentially a personal and expressional artwork based on Munch's true encounter of a piercing scream, cutting through the environment while on a stroll after his two friends shown in the distance had departed him. So Munch represents the noise in a way that, when taken to excesses, may shatter personal character, reflecting the reality that the noise must have been experienced at a moment when his psyche was in an unstable state. So the sweeping curve symbolizes a subjective logical fusion forced in nature, in which the variety of specifics is merged into a whole organic inspiration, with feminine undertones. However, mankind is a component of the natural world, and incorporation into such a wholeness annihilates individuality. So beginnings about this period, Munch began to include these themes into several of his paintings. So albeit only in restricted or modified forms. So however, in showing his own perfect experiences, he has let go and let the front character get twisted by his subjective view of the following of nature. So the Scream be understood as reflecting the misery of this unifying factor of obliterating human identity. Importantly, despite the fact that the protagonist is based on Munch, he shows no similarity to him or anybody else. Several factors demonstrate that Munch was well aware of the dangers of such work for disturbed artists like himself. He quickly discarded the approach and seldom, if ever, exposed a front figure to such extreme and methodical deformation again.
Take us to the conclusion of the lecture. Thank you for taking part in our online gallery walk. We hope that you learned and have fun as we discovered everything.